The drama surrounding a simple woman denied her bank ownership claim begins with a quiet yet piercing injustice. A woman in jogging clothes calmly entering a sleek marble bank lobby, only to be met with dismissive glances and laughter. Vanessa Mitchell wasn't there to make a scene, nor was she lost or misinformed. She knew exactly what she was doing. But the bank staff didn't. To them, she looked like a nobody. An eccentric, perhaps delusional woman in a baseball cap and running shoes with some wild fantasy about buying a financial institution. They couldn't have been more wrong. The morning had started normally enough for Vanessa, a 55-year-old woman with silver blonde hair pulled back under a cap, jogging through the quiet Oak Ridge streets. Known in her neighborhood as the kind woman who volunteered at the library and always remembered birthdays, Vanessa was far more than she appeared. Her modesty was intentional. Despite being married to Richard Mitchell, a billionaire financial magnate, she never flaunted wealth or status. To the neighbors who waved at her during her jogs, she was simply that nice Mitchell woman. But her jog came to a screeching halt when she spotted a notice on the community bulletin board. Oak Ridge Community Bank was being sold to National Financial Group, a known corporate behemoth that closed local branches and eliminated the kind of personalized service that had helped families and businesses thrive. Vanessa immediately thought of Mrs. Henderson, the elderly woman who walked to the bank every week, and Sam Torres, a restaurateur who got his first loan there when no one else believed in him. She didn't hesitate. Still in her running gear, she phoned her husband and told him she was heading to the bank to see what could be done. When Vanessa arrived, she was greeted with subtle but unmistakable contempt. Her appearance sparked whispered jokes. The receptionist barely concealed her skepticism, and Vanessa was made to wait far longer than necessary before being called in to speak with the branch manager, Patricia Kensington. Patricia's smile was icy, her demeanor smug. She offered the kind of condescension reserved for people she believed to be beneath her. When Vanessa expressed her interest in buying the bank, Patricia laughed out loud. "Banks aren't grocery stores," she mocked. "You can't just walk in and buy one, especially not someone like you." That phrase, "someone like you," hung in the air, saturated with all the assumptions Patricia had made. Vanessa, ever composed, responded without flinching, even when Patricia sarcastically asked if Vanessa intended to finance the purchase through a GoFundMe. Vanessa's offer was serious, $15 million, but it was met with even more scorn. Staff gathered to watch, clearly entertained by what they perceived as an embarrassing encounter for this woman who dared to dream above her station. They chuckled, whispered, even suggested she take a financial literacy class at the local college. As Patricia called for security to escort Vanessa out, the doors to the bank swung open and the entire room fell silent. In walked Richard Mitchell, commanding and impeccably dressed, his presence immediately changing the temperature of the room. Laughter stopped. Jaws dropped. Forbes had listed him among the richest men in America, and now he was standing in their lobby. Patricia and James Wilson, the regional director, transformed from smug bullies into pale, scrambling messes. Richard didn't shake their hands. He didn't smile. He simply asked why his wife had been treated with such disrespect. When James tried to backpedal, suggesting that had they known who Vanessa was, they would have acted differently, Richard posed the perfect question. Would it have changed how you treated her? The silence said everything. Vanessa calmly pointed out that she had been advised to leave, mocked for her attire, and that no one had even bothered to listen to what she had to say. Richard then announced that he and Vanessa would offer $14 million, not $15 million anymore, because, as he put it, the $1 million discount seems fair considering the hospitality my wife received. The mood in the room shifted again, this time to dread. Jokes died on tongues. Faces turned red. Eyes darted to the floor. When Vanessa stepped forward to speak, it wasn't to boast about their wealth or punish the staff. It was to remind them why this mattered. She explained that the bank wasn't just a business. It was a lifeline. It had been there for people when other institutions turned them away. Mrs. Henderson, Sam Torres, small families, local businesses, people who couldn't simply drive to the next town or navigate the bureaucracy of corporate banking. Vanessa hadn't come to flex power. She'd come to preserve dignity. She made it clear that what hurt the most wasn't the dismissal of her offer. It was the automatic assumption that because of how she dressed, she wasn't worth basic respect. Until they realized she was wealthy, no one thought her voice mattered. That was the true tragedy, and Vanessa made sure they all felt it. Even James and Patricia, fumbling for apologies, couldn't undo the damage. Richard said little but delivered the final blow. The legal team would be in touch. The sale was no longer going to National Financial. It was going to the Mitchells. And staffing would be reviewed accordingly. As they walked out, an employee named Nancy Winters stepped forward, a quiet voice among the chorus of mockery that had just been silenced. She told Vanessa she had been with the bank for 22 years and that not everyone there judged people by appearances. Vanessa smiled warmly, saying that's exactly why she was there, to protect the people who still cared. Outside, Vanessa joked that her peaceful morning run had taken quite the turn. Richard smiled. "You never could resist righting a wrong," he said. She had once again proven that true power lies not in how loudly you speak, but in how firmly you stand. And in that bank, amid condescending smiles and shallow judgment, she had stood taller than anyone. Social media didn't need to hear the story to know the truth, but had it been televised, it would have gone viral. The tale of a simple woman being mocked in a bank lobby, only to reveal herself as the spouse of a billionaire, an equal partner in power, vision, and purpose, has all the ingredients of poetic justice. But more importantly, it offers a lesson. Dignity isn't defined by dollars or designer suits. It's defined by how we treat others when we think they have nothing to offer us. And perhaps most powerful of all, Vanessa didn't need to shout. She didn't need revenge. She didn't even need to win, in the traditional sense. She walked into that bank with purpose and walked out with something far greater than ownership. She walked out having held up a mirror to every person who'd ever underestimated her, and showed them the true cost of arrogance. So the next time someone walks in wearing sneakers instead of stilettos, maybe remember this story, because the nobody in front of you might just own the building you're standing in.